Okay, give me a second. All right. So, welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. And today, as usual, we are moving on with the next live stream regarding the item catalog sub-series of the Ahn Rho Project. So to start off, as usual, if you had 100 hours left to live in your life, how would you spend those 100 hours, or roughly 4 days, without regrets? Live your last moments to satisfaction, doing the 3 most important things for the 3 most important people in your life. That's a similar situation I'm facing. I call that the 1000 Days Till Death sub-series, 1KD in short. And that is one sub-series in addition to another sub-series called the item catalog sub-series, where I database basically the inventory, all the items that come into my life. What comes in must come out. I cover it all on stream. So these 2 major sub-series, plus a bunch of other domains like finance, money, relationships, hobbies, interests, make up the greater Ahn Rho Project, which as a whole is this sort of, I use a lot of analogies like it's a survival game, it's like a time capsule for me to look back on 30 years down the road. So sort of autobiography. It's also a bit of a management project, obviously. And so it's all of these things, but long story short, it is a self-therapeutic project for me to solve the problems and challenges in my life, as well as a self-improvement process for me to step by step reach the goals and ambitions that I've set for myself in all these different areas of life. So today, as you see in the title right there, it does say it's a finale, it's a celebratory, I guess, stream in some sense, but I don't really have anything to celebrate. In terms of celebration activities, I don't have anything like that. What it is basically we're wrapping up this backpack here. What you see is what you get. What you see on stream in the title is exactly what you find. I have this backpack that I'm trying to cover for the past 2 weeks, and today is the final stream. I can say that this one is completely cleared. It had 8 sections or 8 pockets of items, from toiletries, electronics, not electronics, but like watches, bathing materials. This whole backpack dates back to about 2013. No, the backpack itself goes back way to 2008, so that's more than 12 years. But the stuff and belongs inside went back to my university days, which was roughly about, give or take, 2010 to 2014, 2015. So I've been trying to clear all this stuff, long story short, and today has the last few items. You can see it's mostly empty. If you want to see my streams, again, right here on wherever you're coming from, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, that's where my streams are located, obviously. Hashtag Ahn Rho, H_RHO. But you'll find that basically I covered all the materials there, and they're all either in the garbage, or they're being used now, or they're being passed on to my little brother. So that being said, today's last shit. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, so basic. Sorry. Today's stream. It's 5 a.m. in the morning. All right, I'm living in GTA, so I forgot that. Yeah. Anyways, that's the first 5 minutes too. This is all right. Keep it cool. All right. So we have just some last materials on transit. And it's 5 a.m. in the morning, all right? I slipped, I'm sorry. I woke up, I gotta go to work in about 2 hours. It's been a real rush. Every morning is like this, it's all fucked up. But we have here some routes from, when I was living out of town in Waterloo, Kitchener, and that's where I went to university. That's what we're gonna cover today. Just some bus transit routes that I've managed to save for the past 7 years. And then after that, we'll just cover the bag itself, and then finally I think we can pass this on to my brother now. I'll mention that maybe there's potential for me to keep this as a souvenir from my caregivers, but most likely I'm just gonna pass it on. I'm not sure, haven't decided on that yet. So why don't we just take these things out and talk about them right now, and vent all the emotional ramblings and the thoughts and nostalgia, I suppose. So it's a lot of reminiscing. I have right here before me, it looks like, and this one came from the larger pocket, this one's from the smaller pocket. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different of these, I guess bus routes, that's what they were. And you know, back in Waterloo Kitchener, I would have to keep these because you see, from a small town standpoint, it's not like in GTA Ontario right here, where it's sort of, you know, the routes are fairly straightforward. They all go in straight lines and stuff like that. You know, it's kind of like latitude and longitude, but it's not really that straightforward if you go to a small town. And then their transit system has not only roads that are always in curves and weaving, but the bus routes oftentimes follow. They don't follow any particular street. They actually just bend into the small neighborhoods, even residential areas. And so as a result, I actually used to keep the routes that I used to frequent. So it'd be, you know, it says here Laurelwood. Now, of course, this probably doesn't mean too much to any of you watching right now, although it might be relatable. You probably do the same thing when you're first learning the transit system in your small hometown, if you're from a more sort of semi-rural or suburban area, or the outskirts, wherever you're from. I don't know if you're from, you know, North America or Europe or whatever, but surely you have small residential areas with small transit systems that are not like the urban setting, and so you probably had to learn them. Now, I was a bit more meticulous, and I kept a lot of these things going down, especially when they were updated. I always have to go to the transit terminal, take the new ones, and so you can see the dates here. Obviously, these two, the iExpress. My favorite one was, I believe, 200 and 202, because they would actually bring me all the way down to the heart of the city, or town, really. That's what Waterloo is really like. And so I'm going to show them right here. And of course, if I open them, why don't I just open one and show you exactly how detailed this is. It has the exact times for everything. So it's really quite phenomenal. How every single time listed, straight down to on holiday schedules, and of course they have the route. Of course, that's the Express, has more stuff, but the rest down here, man, I'm still tripping over the fact that I started to stream like that. So sorry. Shit like that happens, right? So this one has more of a map, right? So this one's a smaller route. It's not Express. It says a University Fairview Park. Again, if you're from Kitchener, Waterloo, you might know where that is, but I doubt it that you're here. Of course, again, schedules and the little stops here. This one's a little bit unique. I wanted to show at the back here how it looks like. So I'm obviously not going to open. I'm not going to open all the transit routes and show it to the camera. There's not much point in me doing that. Well, actually there is, but it takes too much time and it's not worthwhile. So we have the map here again. So it just kind of weaves around. It says north. So yeah, it's definitely, this almost goes through universities up here. My university's up here in campus. And it just goes all the way down. This is usually what we call consider uptown Waterloo. And down here is kind of like downtown Kitchener. So the population size isn't really that large. It's about maybe 200 to 300,000 people. 200,000 to 300,000 people. I'm trying to slow it down. My speaking right now, I'm kind of slurring. But long story short, it's a kind of smaller sized town. Again, maybe that's large for your standards. I don't know where you're watching this live stream from, whether you're from, I don't know, Brazil, like the States. Are you watching from New Zealand, Australia? You can just comment down below and just kind of give a little shout out there to your country. I don't really care. It'd be pretty interesting to see, I think, where people drop by from all over the world. I would think that, however, that there aren't very many people who attend my streams anyway, so that's why I generally don't interact so much. But with that being said, this is pretty much everything here, and the main thing I have to do after this stream, or before I throw these away into the recycling bin, and that's the plan here. Of course, I consider them to be class 4 items, I should mention. Class 4 meaning things that I received outside of my own domain. I didn't purchase them. They're just free from the transit terminal. There's also this one here too, I should mention actually. So summer pass and stuff. It's just a brochure. You can see the dates here. 2000. There we go. April 27, 2015. This was latter. This was about me when I was graduating and about to leave. So we had all this kind of stuff here, and I just kept it. But like I said, you know, all this stuff, class 4 items, and I'm going to mostly throw them away. But there is something I have to do beforehand because this carries so much, I guess, sentimental value to me. Most likely what I'm going to do is, as was usual, anytime I throw away anything that's a paper document or mail or filing, I will scan it. So what I have to do is probably take it to the library if they're open, but most likely because of COVID-19 they're not. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my phone, the one I'm using to record this live stream right now, and I'm going to just flatten out everything. For instance, this one right here, Lakeshore Route 9, I would flatten it out all the way, just like this, and then I would just scan it. So I would just take, you know, some sort of app like NoteBlock and just scan the entire bus route, and each of these ones I'll scan double-sided, and then I'll save them into my laptop, and that way I sort of have this sort of mnemonic or sort of a souvenir of back in the day. And who knows, whenever I decide to go back up to Waterloo, in case things have not really changed too much in the past 5 years, I'm sure they will change though, maybe I'll make use of them, so who knows. That being said, let's just keep track of how many things we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 7 of these sort of more specific routes. 2 of them are express, and 1 of them is just a brochure. So 6, 2, and 1, so 9 of these bus transit routes. And again, this is GRT. You take a look at the title, it does say GRT. What's it stand for? Grand River Transit. That is the name of the public transport system that they use in Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario. So that being said, I'm going to put these to the side and say it's all recyclable now, and stick them right here, okay? Which, by the way, we'll cover this in the next stream. There's 2 live streams today as usual. So what I'm going to do here is now just finish up this bag. So this, we're done. Celebrations. All right, so let's kick it off right here. We have this 5-star black knapsack here. And like I covered it already actually in previous streams, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Long story short, this was probably purchased from my father back in about 2008-ish or so. So that's a while back. And I don't really think I'm going to keep it, but there are some things I should mention before I put it away. Like I said, there's a lot of garbage shavings down here because it's not garbage. It's like, you know, whenever you put textbooks inside and then it just chops up the bottom of the backpack. So there's a lot of this sort of, I guess, brittle cloth, broken cloth from the backpack itself. There's also, that's kind of like garbage items, I suppose. I also am leaving in this pair of sweatpants, which was used to protect it. And I guess I can show you just what I mean by all that chopped up stuff. So you see all this kind of stuff like that. It's just, there's a lot of this kind of stuff inside. Needless to say, I'm going to put this back down here and just protect it because I'm going to probably pass this to my brother. But you know, it's been a long time coming. I've been trying to get rid of this bag for a long time. I remember back in the day, there's this little hole here, it tore, and then I took a needle and thread and I sew it back up to standards. That's how much I used to appreciate the things that my caregivers would give me, and that's not to say I don't today, but the point is back then, really, I guess things were slightly different. I mean, they weren't really that different. I suppose what's changed is now I've learned the truth about why we were in such a financially and just overall such a poverty-stricken financial situation, and why they had so much anger and, you know, a lot of, you know, but let's not delve too much into that, okay? So long story short, I used to actually very much appreciate things. Whenever they would get to me something, I would try to use it to the end of its shelf life and then beyond if I can repair it. But it's time for me to put this away, not in the drawer, but pass it on. Someone can use it. That might be my brother, but if he doesn't like it because of a little tear here or something, I don't mind if he throws it away. I can't just keep holding on to things that have emotional baggage. You know, that kind of stuff is not doing me any good. So that being said, this black plastic bag is also probably class 2 item, just like the backpack, class 2, as opposed to class 4. Class 2 comes from my caregivers or my guardian. So what I'm going to do is now just take that, and put this aside, and say that we finished this. So celebrations, that's it, it's done. Finally, I thank fucking goodness. I've been trying to get rid of that shit for so long. There is something else I should say we have to cover. Just a small little paper towel here. That's it. That's all we use today. That's a class 2 item from my caregivers. I don't have any new groceries or inventory, so I can say without a fact it's all done. I can bring upstairs. I can sort of just stash it next to the belongings that I've decided to pass on to my brother, as well as belongings that I've decided to donate to, say, Red Cross, Salvation Army. These are all NGOs, non-profit organizations or charities. So things that I can use, clothing, donations, stuff like that, I'm going to pass them on there. So that's that. And, the second live stream today. So what's next? Well, what's next is the next live stream. That's exactly what's on. And you can see right here, these 2 red bags here are part of what's next. In addition to, as I mentioned, the plan was the mattress, as well as some other miscellaneous stuff we'll talk about in the next live stream. 2 live streams today. So we're gonna move on to that live stream, and I'll see you all there hopefully. Again, right here on my channel, Ahn Rho, Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, YouTube, wherever you're coming from. See you there in about 60 to 90 seconds. That's about how long it'll take me to get that stream set up. Okay? See you there.